had two payouts with us, right?
Yes.
So you've had one for $3,000 and another one for $1,500.
My name is Nagy. I'm 50 years old. Been trading options for about 2 years now.
Well, hold on, Mr. J. Let's see what watch you got on.
Oh,
What you got?
it's a roll. It's a Rolex, the Mariner.
Well, hey, just want to say thank you very much for joining me here today on this interview, man. It is very exciting to get to speak with you today. To introduce myself, my name is Renzo with OneStopProp, and obviously for anyone watching this interview, thank you guys so much for joining, and welcome back to our first interview here at OneStopProp. Very excited. Please introduce yourself, man. We'd love to hear your story and hear some about you.
Yeah, my name is Jay Nagy. Been trading options for about 2 years now. It's been a fun road. You know the options world's a lot different than long-term investing.
How old are you?
I'm 50 years old.
50 years old. Amazing.
Just love the thrill. Just love. I love the charts. I love charting. It's just weird. I just fell in love with it, and once you start, it's like you can't stop.
Yeah, I love that. So you still got that spark for it today, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, once you get into it, it's you'll know right away if you love it or hate it. It's like even though even when you're making your mistakes and you're losing your money, you're just constantly thinking about it and constantly just trying to get better and just constantly playing those things over in your mind and just try not to make those mistakes again. And it's really just a fight against yourself. It's just you against yourself is the battle. You can't let the market get to you in your head and the FOMO and the big thing's the discipline. If you gotta have that discipline if you're gonna make it.
Well, hold on, Mr. J. Let's see what watch you got on.
Oh. It's a roll. It's a Rolex, the Mariner.
Oh yeah. We love to see it, man. So that's the motivation for people watching. But I got a couple questions for you, man. So I just want to quickly let everyone watching know that you've had two payouts with us, right?
Yes.
So you've had one for $3,000 and another one for $1,500. First of all, I just want to ask, how was your experience with actually receiving the funds from us? Does that go pretty smooth or what?
It was smooth. It's just once you really gotta dealing with you guys. Your support is really good. I give you credit with your support and any issues I've ever had. This is new to me, the whole prop trading. I wanted to give it a whirl, and I heard about you guys and I wanted to give it a shot. And looking around, it seemed that you guys really were kind of like built, how you say, built from traders. It kind of seems that it really is like that because what you guys do is very fair to the trader.
Absolutely. I mean, look, you got 100% of your payout, right?
Yeah, you got 100%. You guys do the first five. We get 100%. I like the support. I mean, I have tons of questions, and they've been really good. I mean, I've been bugging them. I'm like, I even told the guy one time, like, you must hate me. I gotta understand this because I just really want to understand what's going on with it. And just reading all the lingo, it just you read so much of it, it kind of gets blurry. You try to do something and make it work, and you realize, that didn't work, or then I clarify with the support guys, and they're really good about getting back and make me understand it.
Absolutely.
But, it was a fast payout. Once when it was like 24 hours, and you guys, once you sent it, I got it, and there was no issues.
That's how we do it. So I hear you're a stock trader. That's correct, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, that's actually, like I said, I got into it, just kind of for fun, been more mostly long-term investing. But then, so once you start learning, start trading more and more, you get into the options world, and it's really intriguing, and it's really rewarding to see. And it's literally it's not an overnight thing. And so the charts work, options, or if you're doing regular stocks, but once you get these charts down, it just takes a lot of time. And it's just like, hey, you know what? Once you see things starting to work, it's pretty mind-blowing that, hey, I drew the trend and it's really doing what it's supposed to do, or it's hitting the VWAP, or it's hitting, you see the volume and you see all this stuff happening. And when you really start seeing it work, you're like, wow, this is it's pretty mesmerizing that it's how it works. And it's like when you understand it and you have the patience, it's really good. It's just, like I said, it's a battle against yourself, because the problem is waiting for those setups to happen.
So are you telling me that you can remember the day that everything clicked for you?
Yes.
Can you walk me through that day from you waking up to the morning?
It was about a year ago. I was charting the night before and doing my thing, and I was just having the same problems. It's just you're always just a little late getting in, or as soon as you get in, it goes down, and then it's like, okay, then you stopped out, or you get out, or whatever the case is. Then all of a sudden the thing bounces right back. The right idea is the wrong timing. I just remember it clicking. I'm like, hey, you really got to zoom out, and you really got to look at those different time zones, those time frames, and just really see those levels. And once you understand them and you see them, and I don't know if anyone uses like extra help like Fibonacci, and you're starting to see the levels matching up, you're like, wow, you know what? This really works when you see this EMA with the fib, from a a month ago a level that was really strong. It's like all of a sudden all these things are matching up, and it's like, whoa, it just sounds so simple, but it's like I don't know why it just takes so long to happen. And I was like mesmerized. I'm like, wow, every time it hits this thing, that's bouncing up. Every time it hits it, it's bouncing down. It's like you start seeing, I'm like, wow, I can see these happening now. Makes things clear in the clear path for trading. And like I said, the hardest part is just having the patience to wait, because they don't come around all the time. You got to really sit and wait for your entry.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'm hearing Fibonacci, I'm hearing EMAs, which is all awesome. We will get into your strategy in just a bit here, but I want to get to know a little bit more about your story, a little bit about who is Mr. J. Right? Tell me about, how did you grow up, your story, where are you from?
Chicagoland, and grew up around here, went to school around here. And, I grew up with my brothers. We're in the restaurant business, actually. It's just a weird story how we just it fell into our lap, but we took advantage of it. It's been good to us. We've been doing it for like 30 years now.
What kind of restaurant was that?
It's a sports bar, Pizza and Sports Bar, the Chicagoland suburbs in Downers Grove. And, it's been really good. And, I love it. I love talking to people and just getting to know everybody. And it's nice because I need a lot going on, because I have my attention spans. Like I like a lot of things going on at one time.
Yeah.
It suits me because it's hard for me to sit still. Like sitting at an office job, or it just doesn't suit me. It's like, that's why I like these charts. And I just like, there's just so much learning, something going on all the time. You're always watching some kind of indicator, watching something. Yeah. Like I said, a lot going on, and I just love to have multiple things constantly going on and multiple charts going up and just seeing lots of different things going on.
It's you versus you in trading, right?
That's what it is. I said the main thing is just you're battling yourself. If you look at it that way, you will become a profitable trader, because that's what it takes. It's like you got to know when is enough for you, and stick to your game plan, and you can't let your mind get to you. The charts don't lie. Nothing's 100%, but you play the charts right.
Probabilities.
The chances are you're gonna get that bounce, or you're gonna get that level, and they're gonna hit. And that the problem is holding on, trusting your instincts, setting the right stop losses, setting the right, and getting all in, because like I said, nothing's done no matter how good the setup.
Absolutely.
Wait that extra 15 minutes, 30, 40 minutes for that setup, you'll be profitable. And getting that FOMO and seeing it going up, and you're like, your heart's pounding, like, oh, it's gonna race without me. And some days sometimes that comes, and you have to be willing to take that that lot, not that trade that day, because it might get away from you. But no trade's a good trade sometimes. No trade. Bad trade.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're saving your money. It's all about money management, right?
Exactly.
It's not about how much you can make. It's about how can you make sure you don't blow it all in one day.
Yeah, that's my biggest, thing still. It's not how much you can make. It's just try not to lose. It's a different mindset. When you get into it, it's like, you want to get rich overnight. You take these big things. You think it's all about making this big money. And it's like more like, hey, I'm going to get in this trade, but how much am I willing to lose? How much am I willing to take a risk on this? How much is, rather than I'm going to make, $10,000 today.
Absolutely.
Once you get a different mindset, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly yourself. But when did you actually take your first trade? When did you learn about trading?
I've been trading, like I said, a long time. It's just a lot of long-term trading. So it was more, hey, you look at a company. I've been doing it for 25 years, and you have time. I always had time on my side, so the entries didn't really matter. It's like, hey, financials look good, things are looking good. You just kind of buy it, and you hold it for a few years, and you end up doing pretty good. You get into the day trading, the swing trading. That's a whole different ball game. And it's like, but once you start doing it, like, you'll know right away if it's for you or not, because you won't last very long.
Would you say that there was someone that introduced you to it and helped you?
Not really. No, I was always tinkering with it, and then
and you heard about it online or something?
Yeah, you just see it online. You just hear some guys, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, what is this? And you go into it, and you hear some guys making this money, and like, just as a side thing, let me just take a look. And and then you just really enjoy it. It's hard to say, because I've lost a lot of money doing it, but it's like, but you still like doing it, and that's why you like it, because you're gonna keep doing it, because when you lose money like that, it's like, well, how could you still want to keep doing it? But there's light at the end of the tunnel. You gotta have confidence in yourself, and knowing that, hey, keep the grind going, and eventually it's gonna click for you, and eventually you're gonna make that money back. And
so how long did it take you to finally become profitable?
It probably took probably a good year and a half to really to consistently become profitable. It's like you still take your losses, and on. And I still have my days where, for whatever reason, you have the wrong stop loss in, or just, you think you're going to get in and out real quick, and all of a sudden now you're stuck and you're down, more than you'd like to be. But, those 10 days happen. It's not good, but it happens to the best of us.
100%.
But, once you get that click, you will be profitable as long as you stick to your rules. You got to have rules, stick to them, and you'll become profitable. You can't expect to have those big trades all the time. No trades or small wins, and they add up.
Absolutely.
They add up.
So you trade stocks. What is your number one favorite?
Like Tesla, I like trading. I like, lately we've been doing some Amazon, options with Amazon. It's a hard trade, but with stock, it seems to work out pretty good. And I think those are the big ones right now that I like doing. Nvidia, I like Nvidia. Nvidia trade's nice. I like trading Nvidia.
So you've been trading all of those with our firm, OneStopProp. That's correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are one of the only firms to actually offer, stock trading. So how's your experience been being able to go in there and choose any stock you like and be able to trade?
Yeah, it's like, there's a good variety. Out of the stocks that you guys offer, you should be able to find a nice little basket to keep, 3 or 4 in there, and just kind of, keep charting them and keep your eyes on them and find one that's really going to work for you. Because there's quite a few that, you've got your big, you got McDonald's, all those ones that you need, your Disney's, you got Microsoft, and then you've got your nice tech names, and it's going to work.
100%. So people probably want to hear a little bit about your strategy. Let's say if you could break it down in just a few simple sentences or so.
It would be, you want to simplify it. I went through the whole using different indicators and all this stuff. It's like, it sounds good for a while. The more simple you trade, the better off you're going to be. You stick to some, the EMAs, you stick to some trend lines, and just keep an eye on like volume. It's like, it'll be a lot clearer than when you start having all these different indicators and all this stuff that promises you to do this and all these, it gets really hairy. You want to, when you're looking at your charts, you want to keep clean charts. I use like an 820, 50, and then like a 200. When I use a 5200 on the daily. Then when I'm actually doing the trading, I'll, use the 8 and the 20. And you kind of just keep an eye on where those levels are from what you marked out the day before. Then I'll throw Fibonacci in just when I start seeing the trend or where the support resistance is, I'll throw a Fibonacci, kind of see where I think a reversal is going to happen. And, just kind of keep it simple. The less lines on your chart, the better off you're going to be.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. So it sounds like you're taking a lot of trades that you're waiting for an impulse move. You're putting the Fibonacci, you're waiting for a retrace, and then boom, you're taking the continuation. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, you wait, like you said, you'll chart like 15, 20 charts at night, or if you get a break, in the morning, and just do your charting, see what levels look the best. And then, then you run a trend line and kind of just see where you think things are going to hit. And then, you keep an eye on those EMAs, and, VWAP, is a big one. Just kind of see where things are. And like I said, if they all match up with Fibonacci, then you got some big levels. That's kind of where you want to be.
I love that. And you keep it simple. Very important. A million strategies out there. They all work.
You learn the hard way. It's like, listen, just learn price action, just learn, support resistance, and the VWAP, and you'll be all right. You'll stick with those, and you'll kill it.
So tell me this, if you could have one piece of advice, right? If you could go back to your very first day of trading, if you could tell yourself one piece of advice, something that you know now that would have helped you back then, what would that be? What would you be saying to yourself?
Take less trades. Like, we all have this problem, like to this day, it's hard to walk out of a room because you don't want to miss a move when things are just chopping. It's like, it's hard to get up and walk away when you think something might happen, but you will lose a lot if you just kind of stay in the room and don't shut your computer off. So, my biggest thing would be, hey, only take a couple of trades. Something might look good. It's just, you get in it and you're going to lose all your green. All your green will go red the more trades you take. So that would be my big thing to tell my younger self is, hey, take less trades. Don't get FOMO'd and take less trades.
I think that's great advice. I 100% agree. I mean, you said chop right there. That's what's going to kill 99% of traders, right? On a chop day, they're going to lose their account. Price isn't going anywhere.
No, it's like, we try that. It's like you try to scalp. Yeah, you win, you win. But then one big candle comes in, it's just all your wins just get wiped out with one candle going down. It's just, you thought you're doing pretty good. It's like, so much for that day. If I had just stuck with a couple of trades, you've been all right. You stick in there and try to get a couple more. Nah, Don't do it.
So on average, how many trades would you say you're taking in a week?
On a week, I try to take about 3 a day, if they present themselves. So I like to try to take 2 to 3. If I have 2 losers, then I'll just stop for the day, try to get out of the room and just be like, yeah, I'm done. You get mad. It's like, it's going to hit. But I'm like, no, just shut the computer off and get out of the room because bad things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Happened before, and it's gonna happen again. So get out of the room.
So do you have a wife and kids?
Yeah, wife, 3 kids.
So what do they think when they see you trade? And they're very supportive, or what?
Yes, they are. And actually, I have my son in here, and he's killing it. He's loving it. He loves doing the charts. He's 12 years old, and he's read the books, and he sits with us, and he does it, and loves charting. And you try to teach him what not to do. Very supportive, and they like doing it and watching and seeing how it works.
I love that. I think that's amazing, man. For sure. I think 12 years old, I wish I had started trading at 12 years old.
Thing is, if I give one thing, it's just, this could be a good side thing for you. It doesn't have to be, this is not just supplemental income. It's just nice to have because anyone can do it. You can do it from anywhere. That's what's nice about it. It's like you don't have to go out and get in your car or go somewhere. Just, turn the computer on, make some extra money or however you want. You can make it whatever you want. Basically, it's, hey, do you want to make it full time? You want to do part-time, just it's up to you. You're your boss, and however you want to handle it, it's up to you. Make.
Yeah, you sound like a true entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's all I've known. So yeah. Hopefully, we keep it that way.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm sure your son will be killing it in a few years, and let's see where he goes. I'm very excited for that. He might be the next killer trader over here at One Stop.
I think he'll kill it. I think he'll be pretty good. Yeah, he'll be better than me. I know that for sure.
Yeah. Well, hey, I think it's been an amazing time speaking with you today. It's been great to share your story. But now the question at this point is, what's next? What's next for you, Mr. J? What are some goals you want to accomplish coming up?
It's just sticking with this and just really dialing in those trades where you could just kind of sit and hold for a little while, maybe a few days, and just really get better at those those swing trades, getting in for a few days and a week, and just really having those things pop. This is the goal is getting those big pops and just finding that.
You want to get into the swing trading a little bit more, hold a little longer,
and really find those ones that are just really setting up beautifully, and really just take instead of 3 trades a day, try to take 3 trades a week, and just let those ride a little bit, and just really have them hit for you.
And how about funding wise? What are you looking to do? What kind of payouts are you looking to get?
Like I said, now it's after we get you have your first 5 payouts. We're hoping to get those $10,000 payouts, and that's what we're shooting for. So we're working up to it. We'll be there soon.
Let's go. Well, you're crushing it, man. I'm sure we'll be back on the podcast soon. But thank you very, very much for coming on and
sounds good. I
appreciate
time. Man, it was fun. Appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah, we'll see you soon. Any last words for anyone watching this?
Just stick with it. It gets better. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and just stick with it because sometimes it's grim, and you could literally go from I love doing this, in the clouds, and then the next day you're just like, why am I doing this? I can't believe it. I'm never gonna survive. Just keep grinding it out. It gets better. It gets better.
Let's go.
Yeah, right. Just keep going.
Appreciate your time again, Mr. J. Thank you guys, everyone, for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.